Okay, so good web design as well. We're looking at colours, and I'll talk about colours more so in a minute because I've got this great little slide coming up in a tick. The fonts are really important too. Is it easy to read? I looked at a website, no one in this room, the other day, and it was all in cursive writing. So hard to read. I didn't even bother. I just went and found something else I was looking for. So your font needs to be nice, clear and crisp. So there's no tried and tested font as such, but Arial's a popular one, Times New Roman people like, Verdana's also another good one, but it's up to you. As long as your consumer can read and understand what's going on, then that's fine, okay? Buttons, people like buttons. You know, if you've got a button that they can click on and move somewhere in your website, they like that. But make sure the button works for a start, and make sure it can be easily seen. All right, and I'll show you a couple in a second. Hyperlinks are excellent because you're going to take them to other parts of your website. Don't send them away from your website, make sure they stay where they are, but hyperlinks to other parts of your website is no problem. And you can have that. So maybe on the home page you might have rates or prices or something like that as a hyperlink that goes straight to your rates page. But try to avoid any hyperlinks that take you away. And we will talk about links a little bit more in a minute. Symbols. Symbols are good if your consumer understands them. So if you've got maybe you've got symbols for your rooms or something like that, or maybe you've got symbols for attractions or something like that, make sure that your consumer understands what those symbols are. So if you have got something a little bit out of the box, have a little brief explanation somewhere on your website about what that symbol means. So just be careful with those. I mean, there's worldwide known ones, but if you go anything outside of the box, just make sure it's very easily understood. Then of course, fresh, modern, attractive, nice looking website. Anybody in this room's got a website older than 5 years?
Yes, and it's just being rebuilt.
It's being rebuilt? Beautiful. Okay. It's older than 5 years?
I'm not sure 5 years,
About that time? Yeah, okay. So it is a really good idea to keep your website nice and fresh and modern looking. So every 3-4 years would be a good idea to think about redeveloping or even just giving it a fresh look. You don't even have to have a whole new website. You can just change your colours. You can play around with where content is sitting, or you can have maybe your buttons in a different area or something like that. It doesn't have to be a major rebuild. It can just be a nice refresh. But it definitely needs to have a refresh at some point along the way. So 3-4 years is probably stretching it. I'd go 3 years. Just so that you keep your customers and your potential guests or clients interested in what you're doing. So, because they'll come back. If they can see that you're improving your website, they will come back. And that's what you want them to do. Okay? You want them to remember about this great little hotel down at Mooloolaba, or this great touring attraction that we've got, or whoever it is. You want them to remember you, okay? And then of course, quality and trust. So you think about it when you're doing a search. If you come across a site that looks a bit dodgy, you don't think that their quality is probably up there. So you'll go back and you'll search again. I know I do it all the time. So just keep that in mind, that consumers will do that. They will think, okay, this website looks like it's 20 years old, or it's old, it's looking bare, the colours are a bit blur. They won't come back. So you want them to do just that. You want them to come back. So make sure you keep that freshness and that quality about it. So this is the colours I was talking about. I love this slide. So these are some of the things to think about when you're using colours on your website. So yellow, it generally promotes. This is not a hard and fast rule, but this is generally what happens with colours. So yellow, it's come across as optimistic or youthful. So if you've got a youthful product, it might be an idea to maybe use some yellows through it. Red, energy. You know, this is where, like Ramblers, you could have lots of red space and people go, yes, I'm geared up, I'm getting ready for it. And it says to increase heart rate and creates urgency. So it's not just the fact about the product itself, but it's about what you want them to do. So it might be that maybe your Book Now button is red. So it doesn't have to be your website. It could be just key things on your site that's red. Okay. Blue, is a sensation of trust and security. So you'll find a lot of banks use blue. Insurance are places where they want your trust and your security with the product. They're the colours that they generally use. Green, associated with wealth, can also be banks, but a lot of financial advisors and planners use green, obviously. Orange, aggressive. It can be a call to action button. So again, your book now button. So you want them to do something, so it's in your face, so it's right there. Pink, romance, feminine. So you see a lot of health spas, a lot of feminine products are all in the pink colours, except for lastminute.com. Never understood why they went pink. But, you know, each to their own. Purple, soothing and calm. So it brings about a nice calmness about your product. And then black is often seen as a very luxurious product, sleek, smooth. So you see a lot of high-end car dealers. I think Lexus uses a black website. So you think about it's slick, it's luxury. So they're as I said, these are not hard and tried and tested, but these are some of the things that have come out in the last few years. And if you just want to go and have a look at some of the other websites, maybe in your product area, you'll see that some of them are using these colour schemes. It's quite interesting when you actually start doing a little bit of research about it. But it's just fun. Okay, so here's an example. Take a second to have a look at this site. Think about the F pattern that we were talking about before. Look about the colours. What does this site immediately want you to do? How do you feel? How do you feel? Need a holiday? I don't know about you, but I can certainly picture myself on that lounger sitting by the pool with a Mai Tai or a Cosmopolitan or something with an umbrella. But that's straight away. I mean, that image is a very powerful image, because when I get to this place, I know that I can do that. Okay? Straight away, I would like to know more. So what it does is, first of all, it gives you that emotion, okay, about being in this pool. Okay. What it's going to do then for me is it's going to take me, I want to know more. So I'm going to start looking at different areas of this website. Okay. What's the other thing that stands out here on this page? Nice bright orange. So straight away, I want to stay in that pool. I want to have my Mai Tai next to the pool. I better go and book it. So straight away your eye is taken across because it stands out like a sore thumb. You can't miss it. And that's what we want your website to look like as well. So you want something that's going to really hit me in the face and go, yep. So you've got a nice, beautiful image there on the front page. You've got your booking button. What else is really interesting about this page?
Phone number.
Yes. So the phone number is very clear. That's right, it's clear. Now think about where your contact details sit on your website. Can I go to the front page of your website, or any page of your website for that matter, and see your contact details clearly without having to scroll? This is actually a very nicely set up front page. It supports that scanning that we were talking about before. So if I scrolled down, there'd be a little bit more information about the company and who they were and all that sort of thing. Seclude yourself in pure nature. So little taglines like that work really well for your business as well. So if you've got something like that that you can think of, and when we're talking about content as well, I am not a fantastic written person. I'd rather visualise and do that. So when I'm writing the words, my content's not fantastic. So if I had the opportunity, I would go and use a copywriter. And I'd say, look, this is my product, and hand out all the information over to this person and say, this is who I am, this is my product, I need some really good content for my website. And there's plenty of people out there that can do it for you. They will charge you, obviously, but some will charge, a couple of hundred depending upon what you want, through to, thousands, depending upon what you're actually after. But if you know you're not a good content writer, don't try and wing it, because it just won't work. Because you won't have, I was talking to someone yesterday about their website, and straight away in the content on their front page, there was grammar issues, there was spelling, there was words that I had no idea what they even were. And I said to them, who wrote this? I said, oh, I did. I said, I can't even understand what you've written. So you need to make sure that your content is nice and easy to read and it flows nicely. So if you have to employ a copywriter, then it may need to come that far. But I tell you, it will make a hell of a difference to your website when you've got good quality content there and it's easy to read. So this is their rooms and rates page. So same instance, it's very clear. So I know I'm on room and rates because obviously I've got pictures of rooms and I've got rates. So, and it's all very clear. Here's those symbols that we were talking about before. So they're the standard symbols. So we've got the little person, so we know that 4 people can stay in this room. And then we've got 2 beds, 1 bath and 1 car. So that's a standard symbol. But if you start using anything that's not a standard symbol, you need to make sure, like I was saying before, that you explain what those symbols are, okay? So again, I'm on this page. I've looked at the room that I have. I can either go and view more details about it if I wish, or I can still go and book it straight online. I've got no issues there. It still promotes that ease of scanning and that ease of where I need to go next, okay? And what's still on this page? The phone number. So if I decide not to use that booking button, it doesn't matter because I can call them. So your phone details, some sort of contact details needs to stay consistent on every page. So think about your website, how many pages, 5, 6, 7 pages? Is your header the same on every page or does it change? Because if it changes, you need to make sure that's the same. So the details are in the same spots. If I came to any page, so because don't forget, Google searches everything. They search everything. So if I come through an image search, for instance, on Google, and I've come up with a photo, and this is the photo that's landed me to this page, okay, so I've come to this page, not your home page. So can I still get to your product and book your product because it's all there still? And that's the reason why you need to have that top area consistent, because you could land on any page. You may not necessarily land on the home page every time, and that's really important. So the usability, this is the side of things. How easy can your consumer navigate through your site? So if I came to your home page and then I wanted to go to your rates page, is it easy? So in other words, can I go to click on a button and it takes me straight there? Or do I have to go through 50,000 other pages before I can get to the page that I want? And I can guarantee you they will not work through 50,000 pages. They will leave before they can find what they're after. And you might have a great product, but your website is not performing the way it needs to perform. So the navigation is key as well. It needs to be a nice flow. Can I get back? This is another thing that people forget. If I go to a rates page or if I go to a page where it's been taking me to, can I get back to where I need to easily? Is it simply by just clicking on the back button, or can I navigate my way back to where I need to go? So you've got to think about not just forwards but backwards as well. And is there a nice clear way or path that I can find my way back? So that's really important. So logical page structure is the next one. So if I look at your page and we're in the rates page for instance, and I've got rates there, and then down the bottom is all about location. I'm not there yet. I haven't even looked at where we are yet. So we need to consider also the way your page is structured as well. So think about your websites, think about your pages. Does it make sense what's on those pages? Does it flow? Is the information from one step to the next nice and easy to understand and know where I'm going? So think about the way it's structured, okay? Talking about easy to find information, so if I need to know where you're located, do I have a little link button that takes me to your location page? Or can I simply locate your location button that you might have at the top of the page? So these are a lot of things that people don't think of. How easy can I get around your site? Readability and accessibility, we've talked about. Supportive colours, text, font style. So we've talked about that as well. So don't just think about the colour of your text, think about the colour of your backgrounds, think about the colour overall scheme. And does it fit in with your brand? So if you've got a beautiful logo that might have blues and oranges in it, and then you've got a green website, it might fit, it might not, but just consider the overall brand that you're trying to achieve as well. So, because that's the thing you want to see out there too, your brand is consistent across all these different avenues. So your website, your colours off your website should be matching your colours and your outlay and theming on your Facebook page, on your YouTube channel. So you've got a nice consistent brand. So if I went to any of those platforms, I know that I'm with ABC Tours, or I know I'm with ABC Hotel, because it's consistent. And this is really important for your overall marketing scheme as well. So when you do any sort of advertising, any sort of marketing whatsoever, doesn't matter where you do it, I'll know that that's your product because it's very prominent across. And Canoe Capers does a very good job of that. Their YouTube channel is purple. And so is their website. It's purple and orange because they're the colours that they've used as their brand. So remember that as well. So across the whole scheme of things, not just your website. This is just to show you a call to action landing page. So for instance, you might have a marketing campaign, or maybe you do a Google AdWords campaign or something like that, and you want them to come to a particular page. So they're called landing pages, so it gets them to where you want them to first. So just as a very quick outline of a good landing page. So one, you've got a great headline, okay, so people can see exactly what you're talking about. You know, Christmas comes to town or something like that. Then you've got the second one is a secondary headline. So just think about newspapers, they do the same thing. They have a nice, great, big, bold headline and generally a second headline. The third part is the content. So what are we talking about? Why are you here in the first place? You could use this pretty much for your website too, not just a landing page. Then we've got a testimonial that people can see. It could be a video or it could be just a written testimonial. It's up to you, but it's still there. Then we're going to talk about doing it now. So you're asking them, you know, do something now, get it done and make it happen. And you can have a click here button. So either way you want to do it. It could be a book now button, it could be a, I'm not sure what else it could be. Book now would be great. Because you're telling them, you're leading them to do something, and that's what you want them to do. Then we go up to the top of the page with links, and I haven't talked about links too much yet, but we will in a second. And then of course you're going to have a beautiful image here. It could be a video, or it could be an image, whatever you like, it's okay. But it needs to be something, again, those emotions. Have something that I can have someone free falling out of a plane, or it could be the pool by your hotel, or it could be going down the river on a canoe, or it could be, you know, it doesn't matter. As long as it's something that I can feel as a consumer, that could be me in that photo rather than the other person. So that's where those feelings and those emotions come into it. And then this line here, this is generally where they have to start scrolling down. So if you can avoid scrolling down, because they're lazy. Consumers are lazy. They don't like scrolling, and even though it's just a little finger going like that, they don't like to do it. So if you can get the majority of the information, the important stuff, above this line, then you'll win them over because they won't have to scroll. So the more you can get above, the better. Where Australia shines.